Thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Why I Love Flagler County, your local podcast spotlighting local businesses and local residents on what they love about Flagler County. So today I'm super excited to have my guest, Cynthia. Cynthia, thank you so much for taking the time today. I really appreciate it. I'm really looking forward to this.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
And
Well,
pardon
this
me, I
is
am a little nasally because I just got over a cold.
oh no, I hope you feel better. It's
I feel
okay.
much better today.
Oh, that's so great to hear. It's okay. I did
Pretty
some
much.
episodes not too long ago. I probably a few episodes back in March where the allergies were just killing me. And I think I sounded like this is my normal voice. I was like all the way down here for like 5 episodes. So it's okay. I'm sure everyone has, seen it and heard it all. It's Florida after all,
It
right?
is.
Well, great. Well, so you have a really, really, really cool topic that we're going to talk about today. And I'll kind of let you explain it in a second, but I've been a big fan of all of this for like maybe 5 or 6 years. So I'm really glad that someone's bringing it to not only like Florida, but to like Palm Coast specifically. But before we get too much into that, why don't you tell me a little bit about your journey coming here to Flagler and being here in Flagler County?
Well, Flagler kind of fell into our laps a little bit, so to speak. Originally, when we were moving to Florida, we were originally in Jersey, and I worked for Merrill Lynch, and I had worked with Merrill Lynch for almost like 10 years at that point. So, I mean, I've been with them for a long time, and they had talked about moving divisions down to Florida in Jacksonville, and so we had looked all through the corridor, St. John's, Flagler, Daytona, just to kind of find a happy place in between Jacksonville and Orlando. And Palm Coast just kind of really spoke to us. At that point in time, they had the video out for Town Center and what that original vision used to be and things like that. So we did move down here in 2006, and we've been here ever since. We've pretty much stayed in the R section on top of that. For Palm Coast and Flagler people, obviously they know all about the sections, but for the rest of the world, you know,
Right.
it's a strange concept, and it's been a very interesting journey between that, the housing market crash, everything that kind of happened in between us moving down here to where we are today. So there's just been it's been a journey.
Yeah, no, that's so cool. So you've been here for like you're basically a veteran of Palm Coast, I would say, because I don't there's not that many people who've been here, I think, since 2006. So I'm sure you guys have just really seen it grow and especially in the past few years.
Yeah, it was nice because when we first moved down here, our daughter was just entering school system pretty much. So she started at Rimfire at kindergarten level, which was their very first year that they opened. And
Wow.
so her class ended up being the first class that went through all the grade levels in the school. And they had like a little graduation ceremony and little commemorative pin or something that they got for it as well. So, she got to grow up through this whole county and the whole school system here. So that
Wow.
was nice.
Nice. So she like paved the way for the rest of the kids who started growing up in the Palm Coast system. She's like, I was there first. I was the
Yeah.
original. I
Yeah.
was the original class of Palm
Rimfire,
Coast.
yes.
Yeah, no, that's so fun. So we can talk a little bit about the event that you have coming up here in August. It's the day before my birthday, which is it's a bummer I won't be able to be here for it because I'm so excited to learn about it because my mom had actually sent me a flyer for it not too long ago. She's like, "You would love this." I'm like, "You're right," because she knows me so well, right?
Yes.
So it's if do you want to explain the festival really quick and then we can get into the specifics?
Sure. It's K-Fest at Flagler, and basically this kind of grew up in a sense of just a love for K-pop and the Korean culture and all the things that are coming in. Basically, with the way K-pop has become much more influential in our music and our TV and things like that. It's kind of like the British wave that came through in like the 60s and 70s. When the Beatles and Rolling Stones and everything came in, that British influence on all of our music and culture and everything kind of like really took hold. And what they call this, the Korean wave, is Hallyu. So there is actually a term for it. And
Nice.
it's kind of grown over the years. So my daughter, she got into it back, I would say probably about 2017 or something like that. So it was a while ago. And for Christmas, she's like, I want these albums. And we're like, who are these people? and and basically, we started kind of growing up, and she's like, all right, for my birthday, I want to go to a concert. And I'm like, okay. So we're like, oh, nobody knows anything about this K-pop stuff. Who knows? Nobody cares, right? So we go on Ticketmaster to buy tickets for Got7. And we're like, oh, we'll go to Texas because that's obviously they don't come everywhere. So like there's specific cities, and we went into Texas to try and get tickets. And while we were looking at the screen to try and pick tickets, everything was just blinking out. And we're like,
Right.
what just happened? We're like, nobody even knows who these people are. How are all these tickets being sold out? What's going on? So eventually we went and got tickets for the Barclays Center up in New York. So we went to that concert, and obviously she's a young kid, so I wouldn't let her go alone, obviously in the middle of a city that we're unfamiliar with. So I went with her, and I made up a shirt, which I'm not wearing, but as K-pop mom, and kind of like had a couple sayings in the back. But anyway, so we went to the concert, and I was floored because the concert in itself, there's a lot of dancing, a lot of singing, but then they stop in between like every few songs, and they sit there and actually talk and engage with the audience. And then for like, after all of like 2 hours of back and forth with all of this, in the end, they took like a half an hour at the end just to thank everybody for showing up. I mean, it's not something that you get in more current modern concerts here in our culture.
Right.
So here, you sit there and you go, you beg, encore, encore. There, I mean, they literally had staff go and pull them off the stage because they didn't want to leave. It's a different kind of mindset.
Sure.
And at that point, I became very impressed with them. We have gone to several concerts since then. I've gotten involved with it. And so, one of the things we've wanted to do is kind of promote and kind of engage with others that like it. And it's hard
Hmm.
to find us because we're all kind of closeted because there's nothing around to go
Sure.
to do, to see. So that's what KFest Flagler is kind of doing. It's kind of bringing people that love the Korean music, Korean dramas, all of their culture and stuff, and bring it all together and kind of share what it is with everyone, as well as bringing an opportunity for everybody that loves it to get together.
Yeah.
So that's
No.
basically where
Yeah.
this kind of came from.
That's so fun. Oh my gosh, I love that. Like I mentioned, I have really liked K-pop. I think I want to say since 2018. I think my first group was a really, really small group that is not even together anymore, Luna. The
Okay,
infamous Luna. Um, but
I've
yeah,
heard of
those are
them.
yeah, that's what got me into it. And I really loved, the music. And it's so funny, in my opinion, growing up. I'm half Chinese, and my family had a Chinese restaurant, and I remember we served boba at our restaurant. And
Oh, yeah,
every day, every single day, someone would come up to us and go, "What is boba?" And we'd have to explain, of course, what it is, what the different flavors mean, what is that, what's a safe thing for you to try if you've never tried it. And then we had, like, the little, like, jelly poppers and jelly
yes,
and all of those things, right? And I remember back then, if I said like, "Oh, I like boba," people are like, "What is that?" And
yeah.
now it's like me and my friends, it's the most common thing. It's like, "Hey, we want
Ready
something
for some
sweet. Let's
boba
go get
tea?
some
Let's go get some.
boba." Yeah, like let's, there's a place in European Village that has it,
Yep,
which
yep.
is crazy. Even there's like four boba shops where I used to live in Michigan. There was none. Like we were the only ones at the time when I was a kid. And now there's like four or five. It's like, oh, which one? Oh, I like this one more. I like this one more. Let's go. Like it's worth going 3 more minutes to go to this one. It's like it's so absurd and insane to me, but in the best way possible. Like I'm so happy that people are just finding so much joy in celebrating other cultures that are not their own, and
Yes,
different cuisines that are not their own. And I
yes,
think, K-pop, K-dramas, C-dramas, Thai dramas, like all of these things, like they've played a huge part because media is a big way on our influence,
yes.
and the way that we consume is kind of what we see mirrored in the world, if that makes sense.
It does.
Um, so
Yes,
it's
it
I'm
does.
so glad that you're bringing this because it can bring out, this side in people. Like it's so funny. Me and my friend, she's, from Tennessee. She's white. She's not any type of Asian. But I told my dad, I was like, yeah, we're gonna go to a Korean restaurant for dinner. And I was like, Korean restaurant. Why are you guys going to a Korean restaurant? I'm like, she likes Korean food. And he's like, what? That's like, they do? And I was
Yep,
like,
yep,
yeah, isn't
yep.
that awesome? Like all of my friends, like that kind of stuff. So you can bring it to these people who we've never had something like this, but also bringing in new fans too. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize all of this existed until, they
Yes.
went to K Fest. And do you want to say like when it is, where it is, and what people can do there so they can get a little taste of it?
Sure. So it's going to be Saturday, August 10th from 1 to 5 in Town Center. And right now, just as part of this is building up, since this is kind of still new and fresh, I'm still looking for sponsors, vendors, food trucks, things like that. They do not have to be K-pop related. If they are, that's great, but not necessarily because, not everybody's all into it. And I know all the parents aren't necessarily going to be into it. So giving them something to do too is helpful.
Right. Yeah.
As far as market and things like that. And one of the things that's very key as far as K-pop and the K-pop culture is, the dances. So learning all the dances for the K-pop songs, things like that. So what they do at a lot of these kinds of events is a random dance play, which basically is like where it's kind of like a mix of snippets of songs. And what happens is they'll play that, and then if you know the dance, you just jump in, dance for your part, and then you jump out and wait for the next song. So it's something that's interactive, it's engaging for people that love to dance, to show off their skills, show off what they know, things like that. But I mean, it's just a great way for everybody to just kind of get together. So there's going to be that. We're going to have a couple, hopefully, people come and actually do covers of songs. So
Hmm.
some people might come and actually, dance the whole song and do a performance. There might be a group of people that might dance and do the whole song, things like that. I'm also looking to have like a little theme song trivia kind of contest for like K
Nice.
dramas because
Yeah.
obviously the Korean culture, isn't just K-pop, it's
Sure.
K-dramas and so many other things. So, and I would like to have a number of the vendors have Asian kind of cuisine available. One thing I am hoping to do is kind of maybe have samples of gimbap, because
Nice.
I do make my own gimbap.
Nice.
I do make bulgogi. I mean, there's a number of different things that we've tried that we really like that we, want to share. Because a lot of things you get to see it on TV and you're like, well, what does that taste like?
Right.
Naengmyeon was something I like wanted to try for a long time. I finally got to try it in California. I was like, this is awesome. No wonder they talk about, excuse me, talk about it all the time. I love it. I'm like, it's a great summer soup, so to speak. It's
Right.
noodles and cold broth, but it's so good and it's so refreshing. And I wish there was a place nearby that sold it. The closest I think is Jacksonville. So,
Oh, okay.
but
Yeah.
Korean barbecue, we've done that,
Yeah.
quite a lot. So
No, yeah, back where I lived in Michigan, I've only been here 2 years, so I still have a lot of fresh memories of Michigan, obviously.
yes,
Is there's the best Korean restaurant, Korean barbecue place, where I used to live, and it's like I went with every single person I could find that would go out with me and like do it. I would take them, my parents, all my friends, everyone I knew. Like if you were my friend in Michigan and you hadn't been there was something wrong. So we're going back to Michigan for literally like 2 days. Like we're flying in Tuesday, flying out Wednesday. And I told my dad, I was like, I know we're going for work, but like we have to go to this. Like we
we're the
have to.
same
It's
whenever we go to Atlanta.
yeah. Is there any places you recommend in Atlanta? I'm going to Atlanta next month.
Oh, there's a lot of places I recommend going to in
Okay.
Atlanta. I could give you a list, probably better offline. But yeah,
Okay.
I don't even remember all their names. I just know their
Yes.
locations. There's 3 K-pop stores. There's at least
Right.
2 Super H marts. And then there's 2 or 3 different Korean barbecues. Some are 24 hours. Some are all you can eat. Some are obviously higher end.
Sure.
There's ramen places,
Love
and I
ramen.
mean, we're there all the time. We were literally there 2 weeks ago for TXT, so I'm wearing my
TX. Oh,
TXT shirt today.
TXT is
Um,
fun. I like TXT.
so we were there for
Yeah.
TXT, and we'll be back there in July for the boys and for ATs. So,
Nice. That's a pretty good
so
lineup.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're always
Yeah.
in Atlanta, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of great stuff over there, food wise and everything. So, um,
Definitely.
But there is also a Korean barbecue place in South Daytona,
Yes.
and
I
they're
think
pretty
it's yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, there's a bunch of places that you can go. Like if anyone likes to go to Orlando and is interested, I know Lot Plaza, Lot Market, I think it's what it's called, LOTTE. That's a really big, cool place, especially if you're familiar with what H Mart is. That's basically H Mart. So it's a very Korean place. I don't go there as much because it's really mostly Korean stuff, and I typically cook Chinese, so I have to go to a different place. But it's super big. I call it like the Costco of Korean food, 'cause it
I'll
is.
have to go. I've
Oh,
heard of
you
it, but I haven't
should.
gone. And I know
Yeah.
H Mart is supposed to be building one in
Yeah,
Orlando, but it
supposedly. No,
hasn't
no
manifested
development.
yet.
Yeah, no development. But yeah, so anyways, if you guys don't know anything about K-pop or Korean stuff or anything, and you just want to spend, a nice August, I was it is that a Saturday? I
Yes,
think.
Saturday.
A nice Saturday, just go down over to town center, check it out. There's definitely something new you can learn. It's always fun to kind of go out of your comfort zone and kind of just see what else is out there. If you've never tried any of these things, you want to be a little bit more interested. The food is always 10 out of 10, there's always some great stuff over there, and Town Center is just a really lovely place to walk around. So we definitely recommend. Also, learning those dances are just so much fun. I tried to learn them when I was
Good
like
exercise.
in high school, and I was like, this is killing me. It's taking the wind out of me. But they're so cool. If you guys don't know anything about K-pop dances, look them up. They're so awesome to watch. I just get
Yes.
entranced like watching for hours. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. They're just dancing. But Cynthia, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it. I'm really excited for this event. Again, I unfortunately won't be there, which I'm so, 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 so sad about.
Well, if we
But
get enough traction, who knows?
yeah,
Maybe we can do it again next year.
would so love that. But I know a lot of my friends are really looking forward to it, so they'll definitely be there in my spirit. So again, Cynthia, I really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. Yeah, thank you again for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you. You have a great one.
Of course, you too. And to everyone watching, I really appreciate you as well. And I will see you next time. Bye.
Thanks.